moon.
Hello there, and welcome to another Pre-Worlds interview. My name's Cockles, and I'm here. Well, I'm not going to do the name. You can do this. It's easy. Please, Brian, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Brian Bear. I'm from Indianapolis, and I go by Wee Bear or Bear, either one. So
Does that Wee Bear go by as in you've got to apply the accent? Though you go Wee Bear,
all right, Wee Bear, yes.
I know, yeah. So you're from Indianapolis. For those people who don't know their American geography, whereabouts is that? Just for them, for their own sake.
It's about 3 hours south of Chicago if you're planning on going to Worlds. But it's just, they call it the crossroads of America. It's kind of in the middle, a little bit eastern middle.
To go there, is there an actual crossroads I can go see?
Yeah, actually there is. Yeah,
I'll be disappointed otherwise.
It's our city center. Yeah.
I'll take that. That's fine. So obviously you're going to Worlds. We met in Spain, which is awesome and good fun. And you brought a list that made everyone stand up and go whoa. Have you decided at the time of recording? Obviously, we're about 3-4 weeks ahead. 3 weeks now? 3.5 weeks, I think. Have you decided what you're taking yet?
I haven't. I'm waffling. I don't like taking the same thing that I've taken before. I always do take weird stuff. I made my splash at the competitive scene 2 Adepticons ago when I took the deep dish. And my only loss there, I beat the guy who won, Gorshade, round 4 of day 1, but then I lost to Luke Cook in the top 8 on day 2. And he was my only loss, and that was my first splash into the kind of the competitive scene. And the deep dish was kind of unique. So,
so do you if you don't have the list, do you have your faction sorted at least?
Oh, I usually play Rebels.
There you go.
They're so fun.
Now we're into it. We're into this. Is where we're going. One of the few people I'm going to be chatting to who actually is going to bring Rebels, probably, I imagine.
Yeah, Rebels are great. There's so much innovation that's possible in that list, in that faction, more so than any other faction, in my opinion.
You do definitely have to be creative. A debate we had recently on one of the podcasts, the shows that we did, something we had was the case of, I make the case of Rebels need help, but only with their core, because you have to take minimum 3 core. So my suggestion would be either rejig the Rebel Force organization so that you maybe only have to take 2 instead, or make Rebel Commandos available in core because you've just got so many choices.
Oof. I don't agree with that because I would abuse that pretty heavily, I think, and I think you got to be careful. I think the core tax in Rebels is just fine. You got 3 naked fleets, and then you got a bunch of great stuff that you could put in there. If you're just going with the core tax, go with your 3 naked fleets. Put some stuff on them that you can be useful for the rest of your team, and use them as needed. Because naked fleets they're just the best. Round 5 and 6, there's nothing that can beat that kind of a dice pool for how cheap they are.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a very fair point. I hadn't actually had that argument put out against me for that one, so noted. So everyone has a style, and obviously playing Rebels, that must mean you lean into a certain play style, if that makes sense. Do you consider yourself like a tricky player, or a janky, or a gun line? What's your go-to style?
I usually like to punch in the mouth as quick and as fast as possible. so actually,
the game.
Yeah. So actually, playing Lila was so much fun in Spain because I feel like she and I play very similarly. We like to ram stuff down your throat, and we like to do it fast, and we like to not let up the gas pedal because I feel like a lot of Legion players in general really like to sit back on their haunches and really like their calculated decisions. But when you're up in their face, that's when mistakes start to get made, and I can capitalize on those mistakes. And Lila does a fantastic job of that. And so I've loved watching her play and watching her style and just recognizing like everything that she does, I've been doing, and I love that too. It's just so much fun.
The phrase "game recognizing game" there, that sort of thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So go ahead.
No, go on.
I was just saying that like there's just a lot of fun things that you can do in Rebels with that kind of a style. I played a Mandalorian list earlier this year that I won a big event in Indy here with just all Mandos. It was three fully loaded Mandos with Boba Fett, and those rockets on round one with rule with respect and some aims on them. It's pretty good stuff.
It's funny you say that. Literally this evening, I've obviously it's the moment. It's 20 to 11 in the UK at the moment. It's fun, but I'm a night owl. I'm not joking. I have the page up in front of me. I've been thinking about let's run a triple Mando list and see what happens. So I've been looking at Sabine because she's Sabine, she's a Mando. Din because he's a Mando. With Grogu for this one, and then 2 fleet troopers, 2 rebels. The reason I've gone 2 fleet, 2 rebels because I don't own a 3rd fleet. So me.
Gotcha.
2. Oh no, is it 1? Oh, I thought I had 2 in there. Mandalorian Resistance, and then Clan Ren, and then a speeder truck. And I'm leaning into the synergy of Sabine sharing with the Mandos, and then her being able to dish out cards like Legacy of Mandalore when she gains Inspire. She can also dish out to Din, who will then gain a token. Then she can dish out to Clan Ren. They gain a token. She gains all this sorts of stuff. So I was leaning into that, seeing what would happen. Oh, and the bus has a gun and Triv and a medic.
Nice.
And Din has all of his fun stuff. And so I just thought, sod it. Why not? I'll have fun with that. So I might play that at an event I've got coming in March. It's nothing major. It should be a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. I can send you my list too. It's the order control is a little bit less tricky than yours would be, just because it's got Boba with 6 Boba cards. Right. Actually 5 Boba cards. But yeah, it's backed up with 3 medbots and a couple of officers with vigilance, so it's pretty fun.
What made you go Rebels over, say, Empire or Republic or Droids? Was it just love, or is it just that's how your style plays?
I play everything. I played Droids at Gen Con. I played the year before at Gen Con. I actually played Black Sun Bus Maul, and I got 2nd place at Gen Con, but it didn't mean anything because Lila got 2nd place at Worlds that same year, the next year, and so no one talked about lowly old me that got 2nd place at Gen Con with it. Rightly so. Lila's incredible.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, and she's awesome. But yes, I play Shadow Collective. I play Droids. I play Empire. I started off playing Empire. I played Triple Bikes for forever, and so I loved Blizzard Force. I actually think Blizzard Force is just so much fun. It just became. I don't like playing lists that I feel like I don't have to think to play. And Blizzard Force became that just after a couple of games. Yeah. And I was like, this isn't for me anymore. I need something that's going to be a little bit harder to play.
That's fair. That's very fair. What would you say if obviously you like to be tricky with rebels and things? So what would you, and punch them in the face, as you to quote, what would you say is the weaknesses in the way you play, or do you have any flaws and things that you go? For example, some people really don't like playing against force users, or some people really deal with armor. What's your flaw if you were to say that one sort of thing?
Let's see here. I guess I just here's the cockiness, Cockles. Here comes the cockiness.
What I'm here for.
I think where my weakness comes is my confidence, actually, because I feel like there's times where I'm like, okay, this is how I'm going to win the game, and then I make a mistake and the game's over because I made that mistake, right? Because of the way I play. But it takes a long time. If you're going to be an aggressive Legion player, it takes a long time to learn how to be aggressive safely. Yep. Long time. And so I was kind of a nobody for a long time, but I would play like nonstop aggression And then once I learned I can do this here and I can be aggressive here, but I need to pull back in this situation against this list. I need to play it slower. Once I started doing I learned those kinds of nuances to the game. That's when I started making some splashes in some big tournaments. But that takes a lot of time. Like you have to play aggressive for a long time and then learn from your mistakes, which you're going to make all the time. And I still make all the time. But I usually I run lists that really depend on a few units. And so I like keeping those units alive. So I run medics a lot. I run astromechs a lot because I like these core units that I want to play with, and I want to keep them alive because those are the ones that I want to play with.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Unless I'm running something stupid like I did at Gen Con with 13 activation flamer spider droids. So with BX mines.
No, there's nothing daft anymore. I just like the creativity, if I'm honest. So what would be your fondest in-game Legion moment? Something you go, I remember that, but in the game. There's a separate question later.
So one of my funnest ones was recently I was playing Operative Luke, and I was playing against a Anakin clone ball. And I was able to get in a position where Luke could go at the end of the round, and it was during his full of surprises turn. So he had some good dodges on him. He had I think 2 dodges. He didn't have any suppression, so he's going to roll some pretty hefty defense. And I knew that when I pop him out, he was going to eat a couple of big standby shots. I out-activated the clone player, and I was just willing to roll those dice. And so I came out and I ate 2 big shots. Luke took 3 wounds, but he was able to slap Anakin. I think I did only 2 wounds. No, I did 3 wounds to Anakin, which was pretty lucky. Like he shouldn't have done that many wounds. But then this next round, that was the end of the second round or the first round. I can't remember. It was pretty early on in the game, and then Anakin played I think he played his 2-pip, and I played Serve Your Master Well. So Luke mind tricked a P1 with a Z6 that was close by, pushed Anakin off of him, shot Anakin with the Z6 P1, used both of Anakin's surges in the attack. So Anakin doesn't have surges anymore, and Anakin had to spend his 1 dodge to hit to kill his own P1 squad just to stay alive. So he did a wound to his P1s, and then he blanked the roll, or he blanked 3 and died. And so it was like instant game over. It was so bad.
You just offer his hand out and then just say, "Shall we have a beer?" That's
right, exactly. Yeah, but it was just. I don't know if that makes me a jerk. It was just so fun to see to use all of Anakin's tokens against him, and then that's what Luke does.
That's fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
One of the fun things about doing these chats with various people is that I will hear lots of fun little stories. That would be one that I said that might live up there so far. I've had ones where I just rolled multiple crits, and I've done it. But the actual ability to just go screw over Anakin and then make him hurt something else and then die at the same time. That's the layers of intricacy and that's just fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
What's something that lives in here to go, oh God, I can't believe I did that as a bad moment, as a bad memory?
So it was Adepticon 2 years ago when I lost to Luke Cook. We were playing Breakthrough, and I got my R2 into his zone, and I think I had another, like a land speeder in his zone as well. And so I was scoring 3 because R2's secret mission. And I had another land speeder that was coming in, but he had slowly moved all of his stuff up, and I knew that he could score 4. And I think I had to kill. I think he could score 5. I had to kill 1 and then stop 1 to be able to tie 3-3 and then win on points. And I just wasn't able to piece the puzzle apart at the end of the game. Things are tight and working through the puzzle of what do I do here. And I ended up trying to double shoot with my land speeder or something and not killing off a mortar, I think. Instead, what I could have done is, and Izzy pulled me aside after the game, and he's like, Brian, you could have just like triple moved your speeder and blocked off all of his movement. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd have been really good, Izzy. What a great suggestion. it
Thanks.
it was rough. It was rough, but I mean, those in-game puzzles are so much fun. And if I could encourage anyone to do anything, I would encourage playing tight games at round 6 at like key positions or breakthrough or intercept, things like that, like or sabotage evaporators, where there's just a whole bunch of minis and trying to move minis around to get your guys into the VAP and get their guys off of the VAP. You can do lots of cool things with either force push or with just engaging them and making them cohere guys away from the VAP or cohere guys to it. Like there's a lot of nuances to the game, and I would practice those. If you want to play high level, those are the things that you need to practice. Those in-game scenarios that are really tight, really tense, and your level of play will dramatically increase.
So outside of the game, playing the game itself, what are your fondest Legion related, obviously, moment? What something that lives up in your head that you're like, I'm happy with that. I love that. That was fun.
Oh, I think the World Team Championship, like awesome. hands down. Like I had the team setting was so much fun. Meeting all the people there was just it was the most fun I'd ever had playing Legion. And it wasn't really even close. In fact, it was so much fun that America wants to put on an American Team Championship in June this year, nice. and I'm bypassing Gen Con to go to that because of my experience in Spain. It was just too much fun. The team setting was so great. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
With it moving to the UK next year, might we see you come over this side of the Atlantic?
I certainly hope so. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm not sure what the plans are. I know that there's I think the interest is going to outweigh the Yeah, I think there's going to be way more people that want to go than are available to go, and so I don't know how we're going to work that out.
It does make sense. On the plus side of it, there's actually just put this out for those other people watching as well. The way it works is that you'll have the team championships at one weekend, the first weekend. Then the following weekend is the UK Games Expo, our version of Adepticon. The following weekend, so people who do come over, and I'm not just saying from America, from anywhere, they could play the team championships, have a holiday in between, then do the UKGE after the following weekend, and fly off after. Just a suggestion. Because it's also probably would be, it has been in the past, don't quote me on this, it might be a World's Open qualifier, so it would pay for flights depending where from and all that sort. Don't quote me on that. It was last year, it might not be, who knows. But that's why they specifically have picked the dates, and I think it's in end of May going into June, that sort of thing. So more on that later. Going back into Worlds, when you're doing your matchups, what are you hoping to play against? What do you know you do well against?
Oh, I think we're getting to a point in Legion that your list, whatever list you make, you can't plan for everything. And so if you want to have a successful experience in Legion, you have to have a list that can handle most of the meta, and then play against the matchups that are really hard for you over and over and over again. So generally, things that I'm not afraid of anymore. So I don't know if you know Chris Beezer. He beat the heck out of me last Worlds and broke my little heart of not making it to day 2 with his Palp Double Dark. And I thought that my list was prepared for that, and it wasn't. And so I'm not scared of darks anymore because I've played against them so much since then because of that experience. I'm not super not super worried about. I'm not worried about gun lines. I've never really had trouble with gun lines in general. Um, Part of that is because Luke's one of my favorites. He's my favorite character in all of Star Wars,
Yep.
and so the fact that he's good in the game is nice. I'd play him if he was bad. I played Commander Luke when he was bad until Operative Luke came out, and so but he's my favorite, and so because he's my favorite, he does well into gun lines as long as you can keep him safe when he gets in.
And is there anything that particularly makes you go, "Ugh, don't want to play against that"?
Yeah, pike spam. It's just not fun to play against. I've beat them before. It is always hard every time, and most of the time, yeah, it's just a tough matchup, man. And I've played pikes, and the pikes are fun, but
Not
they're
to
not.
play against.
It's not that great. Yeah, it's not that great to
Not
play
to play
against.
against.
Yeah.
Play with them, not against. It's like,
Right. Yeah. And to be honest, mall pikes are more manageable to me than like something like box pikes. Because mall pikes, you know that you've got about 5 units that you got to eat through. And mall's a little bit of a pain, but generally the stuff that I run can handle another force user.
that makes sense.
Whereas pike boss, that now you've all of a sudden you've got 6 units of pikes to deal with, and it's a little bit more. It's a little bit tougher. You have to duck and dodge a lot more.
And are there any individuals you'd like to, I say, rematch or play that based on reputation and or who they are? Is there anyone you want to play,
Oh
or is there anyone you want to avoid and why?
no, I want them all. I want the hardest road to the world. So I want the best players because Cockles. I think that I'm in that category, and because I think that I'm in that category, I want to play against the best. Because if I'm not, I want to learn from the best, right? And so I have no fears about playing anybody. I want the best across the table because those experiences were just fun. I loved playing Luke. Playing Luke was awesome. Playing Gorshade, who won Adepticon 2 years ago, was just fun. Playing Lilo is fun. Like these are great players. Tyler Cairns is another great player I've played at top table. Izzy, like all those guys are just fun to play against. They're just great players, and it elevates your game. And so I haven't played against Kyle Dornbos yet, and I would love to play against Kyle because he just seems like a great guy, and he has such a different style than I play, and so I think that'd be fun.
For obvious reasons, I haven't played many of you guys for obvious reasons, but yeah. Is there anyone in maybe Europe you're sitting there going, I want to play them because I like them or I've met them or reputation-wise, it's just a case of like Ollie, Andy, you've played Lily, you said that sort of thing. She's not making it this year.
Wait, Lila's not going to be there this year?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Unless things change between now and then, but I understand that she couldn't make it. But life happens, unfortunately, I think. But,
it does. It does.
If you ever thought about playing Ollie and his Blizzard Force?
I would love to play Ollie and his Blizzard Force. That would be a severe challenge because Ollie's Blizzard Force. I think that he probably plays it better than anyone at this point. So
he played. I think at last count, I think he said it's something like 150 games. No, maybe more than that. But it's because that has been his list because he was practicing for Worlds last year with it, and then he knows it works. He's just kept it going. But
yeah.
So that's his Blizzard Force. It's not. I think you can just say he is the Blizzard Master.
Yeah,
that's a bit scary. Let's give us coming up to the 2 more questions then. So, fun fact about yourself that people might want to know or want to know even.
Ooh. I coach wrestling
yes,
just for fun. Like that's like what I do I'm a volunteer coach. I'm in healthcare. I do injections for pain. But when I'm done, I go in and help out at the local high school.
So when we're in Chicago, can you sort my back out? That'd be great.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And
so I love it. I love wrestling, and I did MMA training for about 6 years. So
Sweet. Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. Well, there you go. Don't annoy Wee Bear. And the last question is then obviously we're all we're all supported in some way from our community in some way or other. Is there any local store or gaming group that you wish to put a shout out for? I reckon I know which one it is, but I'm just going to say. But
yeah.
yeah, go for it. Who are they and what and who do you want to say shout out for?
Oh yeah, so the Indianapolis Garrison is obviously that's our crew. We have a huge showing right now, and Indianapolis is a hopping place for Legion. I mean, we had our Indy Open was our first year last year, and we had 49 players out.
That's pretty cool.
Um, and ACO was that same weekend, and ACO had I think only 35. So we're upping it to I think we're going to try to get 64 to 80 this year. We have enough tables for 80, and so we're excited about that. Yeah, Indy Garrison for sure. Matt Evans is the one that kind of organizes all of our tournaments, and he does a good job. And just all the players that I play with, they're all great players that allow me to be prepared to come to these high level games or high level tournaments and perform well. So we're stoked about that. And also there's a group on the north side of Indy, the 317th crew, that they're a friendly rival and they have great players and they're just fun to hang out with. And yeah, Indy's a great place for Legion, man.
Sweet. I just putting it out there. I also know that the Indie Garrison exists. I saw Tyler did a blog, and I know you got that. There's a blog website there. So if anyone has that, check out the Indie Garrison's website, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but check them out. Just type in Indie
Yeah,
Garrison.
Indy Garrison. Just Google Indy Garrison. I think
There
it's
you go. Done.
yeah. I can't
Indie
remember
Garrison, and then because I know Tyler did his blog on Spain, attending Worlds, because I think it was the first time out of the States, which was awesome. So really good read. So I recommend that as a personal one if anyone is looking for something to read in between the games that they're watching while they're on Worlds.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Good luck in Worlds. I'll see you when I'm sitting at the stream table doing up my markups and things, ESPN style for our games. And hopefully we'll have you on stream with something really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It will definitely be unusual. So
I'm looking forward to it. I will be pushing for that to come on stream. I'll be like, come on, come on, come on. So that'd be fun. But we're there. Brian, thank you for your time. Good luck.
absolutely. Thanks, Cockles. We'll see you in a month.
You will see me. I'm looking forward to it.
That's no moon.